City at the start of this championship campaign. 10 wins out of 11. That's 30 points now out of a possible 33. The Foxes are 10 clear of third place and they are top of the league by a couple of points as well. I'm Dan Bates. We've got Matt Elliott and Matty Fryer here on Matchday Live on Foxes Hub over the course of the next 25 minutes or so, as we'll hopefully get some reaction from pitch side as well. But guys, sum that up, it's another fantastic 3 points.
Yeah, listen, first and foremost, that's the most important factor, isn't it? Performance was very comprehensive, very complete in terms of their dominance over their opposition. Stoke played a part in that, I think. Played very timidly, to say the least, in the first half particularly. But Leicester do it in their own way, don't they? Do it in their own time, at their own pace. And they won't be sort of pressurised or ruffled into playing any other way. They've got a belief about how they play, and it's proving very productive, isn't it? Ultimately, looking at scoreline 2-0, people go, "Yeah, that's about right. Expected that." A lot of people would have been putting a fair wager on Leicester to win the game this afternoon, and that's how good they're looking. And I've said it before, it's pretty intimidating for the rest of the division, you have to say, because they're getting results at a canter at the moment.
It's perfect going into the international break. You've got that 10-point gap. I think the fear factor was there to be seen today. Just the way Stoke set up. Second half, he came out a little bit more, but then Leicester showed the quality on the break. Worked the second goal ever so well. And then more chances. Looked more threatening, actually, in the second half once it got stretched.
That's what happens, mate, isn't it? When teams...
Yeah.
Now we criticise Stoke for over-exaggerating that low block, or whichever you want to term it. But they'd open up, and then they get opened up, by the opposition, Leicester. And if it's a basketball match, Leicester win it 9 times out of 10, don't they? Mm.
I believe down in the tunnel we can get some live reaction from Kelechi Iheanacho, the man that got the first goal of the game. Kelechi, can you hear us? Congratulations on another victory and a goal for yourself. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm really happy. We finished it off very well today, and it was a tough game from the start. But we stick together there, we work together, and we got to go at the first half. So I'm really pleased and happy. And then we finish it up at the second half with bright score.
It was a classic Kelechi Iheanacho finish for that first one, wasn't it? It's a goal you've scored a lot of times in your career. I'm sure you're very proud of it, though.
Yeah, I'm really proud. It's a good finish. Yeah. The ball from Keenan and take first touch. Then it's just about composure and just to shoot across. So that's what I did, and he went in. So it's a great goal.
How good is the feeling? How good is the mood at the moment in the dressing room, in the group in general? 10 wins out of 11 now at the start of the season.
Yeah, I think as a group we've done well, and there's a great feeling here. Everyone knows what to do, and we've been doing our tactics, and everyone knows his position. So we'll be switching around players. We have a lot of games to play, but yeah, it's a good feeling altogether. So we keep winning. So hopefully we'll keep winning, and the wins will be coming. But yeah, we'll take it one game at a time. International break now, get a rest, go to internationals, and come back and continue from when we stop.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us, Kelechi. We'll let you get in and enjoy the dressing room celebrations. That was Kelechi Iheanacho there speaking after today's victory. Jerry Taggart, you're with us still. You've seen that game live, of course, on co-commentary duty. Kelechi, fantastic finish, wasn't it, for that first one? And Leicester probably needed it at the time because of the way Stoke were playing. It was always good to get that goal fairly early in the first half.
I think it was important. Obviously an early goal is always important in a game like this where, as you say, the opposition put 10 men behind the ball, and it was a lovely take and finish. At half time he spoke about his first touch not being as good as probably he would have liked, but it didn't matter. It was all about how he angled that ball past Travers in the goal, and a lovely little ball, you have to say, from Ricardo to pick him out as well. So, I mean, it was a lovely little move from Leicester City. Similarly with a second goal as well.
Hopefully we'll get some more reaction from down pitch side today after Leicester City's victory. Still to come, we'll assess more of the victory and also maybe preview one of those games after the international break. But really, we'll be talking about Leicester City 10 wins from 11 at the start of this season.
Who wants to join me? Shopping at King Power. 3-day, 2-night stay booked. See ya.
To the rooftop bar.
To snap a photo for my IG.
To eat the famous pad thai.
The new collection is calling me.
Sure, there's a perfume I want. Let me ask my sis.
Yes, of course I'm going.
Leicester City, Fox never quit.
Let's go. It's possible because King Power is more than just duty-free. Shop latest trends in beauty and gadgets. Your coolest staycation. The legendary pad thai. Best street food in town. A place to support your team, a fancy dinner, enjoy shopping at downtown stores and online, or even the thrill of a new experience. Explore your everyday possibilities. The power of possibilities. King Power.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top two players now.
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Jameson Black Barrel unlocks a richer taste experience from barrels charred black by fire for notes of butterscotch, toasted oak and, ooh, moments like this.
You're built different. Breathing new life into broken. Taking matters into your own hands. Assembling big dreams from the small things. Never stopping until you find the right part at the right price. That's the eBay way.
Hello, football fans. This is a smart meter display. It helps you tackle energy usage, manage your spending, and keep you on target. Now that's a hat trick. Search Get a Smart Meter today.
Jameson Black Barrel unlocks a richer taste experience from barrels charred black by fire for notes of butterscotch, toasted oak and, ooh, moments like this.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top two players now.
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Welcome back to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub, and as you can see, we've made a little change in the studio here. Out has gone Matt Elliott, in has come Sophie Howard, LCFC Women Player, of course. We've had you on a show before this season, and we're here to preview, of course, the game tomorrow with Everton. I bet you're very excited for it, firstly.
Yeah, very excited. It's been ages that we've been back at King Power. I think we started pre-season 2 weeks later than the lads did, and we still haven't had a home game yet. So you can imagine how excited we are.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that game with Everton tomorrow, and of course you start a week ago. But obviously, with the game having just finished here, we've got to talk about that for a little bit longer. You obviously watched it along with a lot of the other players. LCFC Women was another really good performance and 10th win out of 11.
Yeah, I think a very dominant performance again. I think the first half was all about patience. Once we scored a goal, I think they had to open up a bit, Stoke did, and then we created a fair few more chances. But again, a very dominant performance. You saw the possession stats, very impressive, and I think another deserved win.
There were the odd moments of not necessarily worry, Matty, but obviously when it's only 1-0, it's only a matter of time. It's just one chance that Stoke need to equalise, but Leicester, as soon as they got that second as well, there was no doubt at all.
Yeah, we mentioned about that complacency and being focused in the second half. Straight after the restart, Lowe had a huge chance.
Yeah.
May have gone differently the game, but I still think Stoke would have probably gone for it a little bit more, and then the gaps get bigger, space gets created, and the 2 goals, we haven't really spoken too much about them, but there was well worked, moved the ball across from left to right, and then just a threaded little pass. First of all, Ricardo Pereira in the first half, great finish, and then second half, Fatawu, little slip pass, and then the cut back from Wilf, and then how do you like him? And then both forwards on the score sheet, which is always healthy, clean sheet, comfortable, and then go marching on into the international break, and looks ominous for the rest of the league. It was so routine, and Leicester did a job and performed well and deserved the 3 points.
Yeah, 74% possession, Jerry, today, which is obviously very impressive from a Leicester point of view. They're just so good at that, keeping the ball.
Yeah, I think, when you analyse a game, and especially in that first half, I think Yannick Vestergaard had more touches than anybody else on the pitch. So they can be a little bit misleading, the possession stats, especially in regards to how many shots on target they had. But I suppose it doesn't really matter when, even under pressure, you still have the quality to create those 2 goal-scoring opportunities with the slick passing that Leicester did in the end. But obviously, the stats are helped by the way Stoke set up. Simple as that. 10 men behind the ball. They let the 2 centre halves have it, or the back 3 if you want. They let them have it. All they're trying to do is get their 2 centre forwards to sit on Ricardo Pereira and Harry Winks to stop them, getting the ball rolling, creating that space to then move forward. And so that's why you see Yannick Vestergaard having so many touches on the ball. So really negative approach from Stoke. But again, it wasn't good enough. He switches the tide in the second half, tries to go more attacking, Alex Neil. They have 1 or 2 opportunities, especially at the beginning of the second half, but it's the same outcome. With him, getting rid of that low block and trying to be a bit more adventurous going forward, the outcome's still the same, with a very well worked goal for the second one as well.
Yeah, I think those are the hardest game for a centre-back. We were discussing that in the stands with the goals, because you don't have as many defensive actions. You're in possession constantly, and then you always have this one or these 2 moments where you have to defend and be front foot. And I think those are the difficult games for a centre-back defensively. Obviously in possession, Vestergaard had a lot of time on the ball. The back 3 in general had a lot of time on the ball, and it was about moving that ball across to I guess, stretch Stoke to find the pockets. But I think we can't forget the solid defensive performance from the back 3.
And when they were called upon, both Vestergaard and Suter, fair play to him, his first league appearance of the season, looked very assured, didn't they?
Yeah, I think a very, again, dominant performance in possession, but also out of possession.
He'll be pleased, won't he, Harry Suter, with that. And Hamza Chowdhury as well, playing in an unfamiliar position of left back. We were debating before the game who out of Ricardo and Hamza might have gone into midfield. It was Ricardo, wasn't it? So Hamza at left back was fantastic, as he always is. You can expect that from Hamza Chowdhury.
Yeah, I think it keeps the continuity, isn't it, with Ricardo in there, and obviously assisted the first goal. But Hamza was comfortable on the ball, and he covered around really well. I think it was it in the second half where they had a ball over the top and he just read the danger and actually got the free kick in the end. But we know his capabilities in terms of defensive play. He was comfortable in the ball, just sat in there, just moved it out to the wide player when available. If not, just kept it simple. But fairly comfortable for him. Not too many questions asked going forward from Stoke. and if anything did, they were just aware and could cope with that.
Yeah, because I guess, as you were saying, the one moment that they might go forward, you might lose your concentration purely because you haven't had to do much defensively.
Yeah, I think you prepare obviously for those moments, even when you're in possession already. We talk about the rest defence. I think they were set up really well, and then it's about this recognising the moment and the front foot defending. And as I said, I think all centre backs did that really well. I know we're building up in a back three, so in that moment it's then 3 centre backs. But I think across the park everyone was front foot, and we won a lot of first and second balls.
Yeah, there was a lot of winning it back in midfield, Jerry, wasn't there, when it looked like Stoke may go on the break. I mean, Cesare Casadei did it a couple of times, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, I think if you want to play in Enzo's team, then that's part of your job. It goes without saying. And it's not easy, you know, if you're not, you know, if you haven't got that in your DNA to run back and get stuck in and try and win the ball back, then it's not easy to, you know, to try and get that into your game. But I think even the likes of young Fatawa, he showed a few times as well. He's willing to get back on side. Mavididi was seeing it from him on numerous occasions this season where he's more than willing to get back and help his full-back out. And it was Cesare Casadei today who showed that, you know, that willingness. Normally we're talking about Wilfred Ndidi and how good he is at that role, but, you know, he's created a brand new, you know, style for himself as an attacking player. But he also does the dirty work as well, and maybe you know, it's rubbing off on somebody like Cassidy that he can do both sides of the game and be successful at it.
Yeah, that's another assist as well, Jerry, for Wilfred Ndidi today. Again, we were talking about him pre-match, weren't we? And just how effectual he is at the moment in games.
Yeah, he could have walked off a hat-trick. Simple as that. He had 3 chances. One he's put on a play for Jamie Vardy. One, the keeper's got a fingertip to it and put it behind. And the third, he's one-on-one with the keeper. Probably, well, not probably, should have done better. Puts it over the bar. So, you know, he's got an assist and created 2 fantastic opportunities for himself to get on the score sheet. And, you know, it's just, I'm not saying it's mind-blowing, but it's just a turn up for the books, for, you know, to see that the other side of Wilfred Ndidi's play to where he was brought into the club and on the position where he was put in and on the role in the team that he was given. It's just a complete contrast. It's amazing.
Who have you picked out today, Jerry, as your standout player from a Leicester point of view?
Well, I think, you know, obviously, if you're going on the first half, then it was just that easy for Leicester, and, you know, nobody really stood out because the game was played at a snail's pace. But when you need someone, you know, to break the deadlock and get you up and running, then it has to be Kelechi Iheanacho for his goal. You know, it was a difficult angle. It sort of changed the game. It settled everybody down in the stadium. As I say, the way Stoke came at Leicester today, well, they didn't even come at Leicester. They just were trying to protect that 0, that nil on the scoreboard, and he was the guy that made sure that didn't happen. So you've got to give it to Kelechi. It
was a really well taken goal. We've spoken to him actually already. I don't know if you saw it when you were in the other room. We spoke to him during just as he was heading into the dressing room, and obviously he was delighted with his finish. It's classic Kelechi Iheanacho, really.
Yeah, very good finish. A deserved goal. I think Jerry mentioned it. He worked really hard, and the team needed him to, create something in that first half.
I guess from a defender's point of view, his touch took him a little bit wide. You probably think danger might have slightly gone away, but I think similar with Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's finish in midweek, he's just so good, so strong on that left-hand side across the goal.
Yeah, I think as a defender, obviously, if they take the touch wide, you're hoping that you can get that. But if the finish is class, there's not much you can do, really.
Yeah, you'll have been proud of that one, Matty, won't you?
Yeah, no, he'll be delighted. The form he's in, scoring regularly. And then the more as the game went on, he delightful turn. I think he slid in Keenan, where he went one-on-one with the keeper, and really good. And then he's getting into the game and thinking more chances would come. And then Jamie Vardy comes on and then goes and scores again. But healthy competition, isn't there? Both scoring, both confident in front of goal, and it was a fabulous finish in the first half.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably thought that at the start of the season. Jamie Vardy, Kelechi Iheanacho, whether can they play together, or is it one of them in, one of them out? Who would you pick? But if they're both scoring goals, that's perfect.
It's perfect, yeah. It's that togetherness, that team unity, and if one's starting, then one's coming on, can they contribute, and then vice versa. Jamie Vardy started in the week, Kelechi comes on and scores, so it just turns out that way, and then both have got on the score sheet again today. So it's all healthy competition, and what Strikeforce to have. Obviously 2 outstanding players, not just in this league but the league above as well.
And some more classic Jamie Vardy celebrations as well, Sophie, which is always fantastic to see, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of pride for Vardy, and I love to see it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're on the other side, you hate to see it, but personally, I love to see his celebrations.
I think he's desperate to score regardless anyway, but I think particularly in the second half, if he's that close to the away fans, there's no stopping him going over there today.
Rightly so.
Jerry, obviously we've spoken for so many years, haven't we, about Jamie Vardy and everything that he's achieved, and the fact that he's still scoring goals is obviously really good to see. I tell you what, Jerry, hold that thought, because in just a moment we can go live pitch side to manager Enzo Maresca. In just a second, we'll get that for you shortly. He's masterminded a fantastic start to the season. 10 wins out of 11. Let's hear from the manager.
Today. Complicated game, complicated win, because as we always said, when the opposite sit back, it's always complicated to find a solution, because there are 11 players there, so no space, no solution. But the important thing is that we continue to try until we found the goal.
So what is the key then when a team comes here and sits all 11 behind the ball?
First of all, as I always said, be patient, let them run, because the game for them is very long. So after 1 hour, 70 minutes, we can find more space and more solution. But even first half, to be honest, we were trying to find solution inside, some switch with Abdul, with Yunus in this side. Yeah.
You found a nice solution though in the first half. Lovely ball by Ricardo finding Iheanacho.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. But as you can see, that ball is in small space, so it's difficult. It's not easy.
Is there anything they could have done better then in that first half?
No, to be honest, you always can do something better, for sure, 100%. But it's not easy. It's complicated.
And then you must have sensed, and part of the game plan was the game would open up. It's almost in phases, wasn't it? And then suddenly there were loads of chances at the end.
Yeah, at the end, yes. I think we'll finish 4-5 nil, the Keenan chance, the Wilfred chance. But also in this kind of game, they are very important. The player from the bench, like already happened many times. They are main players, and it works today.
Yeah, you're not scared of making a lot of changes. 6 changes today. So what have you learnt about your team, about your squad today?
No, you have to do it. You have to do it because 46 games, it's a long season. We played many games in the last 10 days, 15 days. And as I said, you need to do changes. Doesn't matter, sometimes it's good because you win, sometimes it doesn't work and you drop some points. But at the end, we need to make some changes because we need to refresh.
10 wins out of 11, it's a fantastic start. What was the most impressive win, do you think, so far this season?
I don't know, probably, as I said many times, the complicated one was Blackburn away. So probably that one was the toughest one.
I think last time you lost 11 players in the last international window. Have you counted up how many are going to be going away?
To be honest, I don't know yet. We are waiting.
And is there much you can do during those sort of 10 days?
No, it's just the players, they're going to be here with us, just to try to improve them, work with them, and that's all.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
That was Enzo Maresca there speaking to our commentator Guy Havard. Obviously there's a smile on his face, as you can imagine, Sophie, because it's yet another victory.
Yeah, he's probably very proud of his squad. I think he made an interesting point. We made 6 changes today. And you can only get through a season with a strong squad. A strong 11 will only get you that far. And he's put something together that is really valuable, and I think that will take him places.
How important is that, having a good squad? Obviously you're currently in a very good LCFC women's squad where there's healthy competition for places. When you know that if you have a couple of poor games, someone is there, there's that pressure on to know that you're not guaranteed a starting spot.
Yeah, I think healthy competition is always absolutely crucial. I guess to play to your full potential, and I think we've got that this year. I think previously we've lacked that, There's a hard fight for a spot on the pitch and even a spot in the squad. Injuries happen, as you said, dipping performances happen. But if you've got that strong squad and there's healthy competition within the squad, as I said, that can get you far, and that will really, I guess, define us throughout the season.
Yeah, I guess, Jerry, for any league campaign, for any team across whether it's men's football, women's football, whatever level down the football period it might be, that is vital. And that's exactly what Leicester have got. Every time Enzo Maresca has made a number of changes for a team, they've always come through.
Yeah, and I think, you're talking about the quality of the squad and the depth of the squad, but at the end of the day, it's down to Enzo Maresca to make sure that, he keeps that squad together, keeps the players together in the dressing room, keeps everybody smiling, keeps everybody, feeling as if they're wanted at this football club. You look at the likes of Harry Souttar, who hasn't featured a lot this season, if at all. And he gets a game today and he goes out and he puts in a performance for the manager. So Enzo Maresca, has to take a lot of credit in the way that he's managed, this team of players, and especially up until the end of the transfer window, where rumours of players coming in and out, and it didn't happen. Yannick Vestergaard, another player who didn't really feature last season, he's been an absolute stalwart for Leicester this season. Best defender on the pitch for me this season for Leicester. And I'd say Harry Souttar and other players. Your players who have had longevity at this football club, like Jimmy Vardy, explaining to Jimmy that he's not going to play him every week. So he has to take the majority of credit in the way he's run that dressing room and rotated the team, and they're still winning games.
Yeah, that's a very impressive victory here at King Power Stadium today for the men. Hopefully it's the first of two victories here at King Power Stadium this weekend, because LCFC women and Sofiad, we assume you'll be starting and playing in the game tomorrow against Everton. It's your first home game of the season, as you imagine. It's been a long time coming, really.
It certainly has. We've had a lot of weeks of hard work, graft and grind, but we're ready to, not only obviously we started the season last weekend, but we're ready to come back to King Power and put a massive performance in.
What are you expecting from Everton?
A very tough game. They're a very good team, but I think if we play the way we can, we should be successful. It's just a matter of putting a performance onto the pitch.
And obviously, it started really well, as you've referenced a week ago away at Bristol City, and we saw the celebrations at full time, because you didn't win a huge amount of games last season, it's fair to say, particularly at the start of the season. So Willie Kirk himself said, yeah, we celebrated for a reason, because winning games, again, at any level, whatever it might be, is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, winning doesn't come easily, and we don't take it for granted, and that's why we celebrated the win in every single goal. Because, as you said, we waited until January last year, or last season, to get our first 3 points, our first win even. So we knew how much a win in the first game meant away from home. We're ready to make it 2 out of 2 tomorrow. But we will celebrate every small win along the journey, because that's what it's about. We don't want to look too far ahead, but right now we started really well, and we're going to go into the game with confidence.
A week and a half ago, Matty, you were on this sofa, weren't you, alongside Willie Kirk, the LCFC women manager. You were obviously very impressed by him, and it started well. He was confident of getting a result at Bristol City. OK, they were a newly promoted side, so Leicester probably went in as favourites, but to get that win away from home against a team who will have been buoyant from last season was impressive. It's
massive to get off to obviously a good start away from home against a newly promoted team, and then at home you want to get off to a winning way and then continue on it, because there's a few tougher games on paper after Everton. You can only play what's in front of you, but of course you want to get off to winning ways, start well. And then Jerry touched on about the first team in terms of the men, in terms of a squad thing, changes and people all being part of that, but it helps with winning. If you change in a team and they're not winning, and the dynamic might not be there, but obviously competition for places, quality within the squad, but it helps again if you're winning. So you get off to an opening win and then follow it up at home win. Same for the men's team. You can make them changes because everyone wants to be a part of it, because you're winning football matches.
And hopefully we'll see a really good crowd as well, and which is important. A lot of people that were here today supporting the men will be here again tomorrow for the double header. How important is it, and how great is it having supporters?
We appreciate it every single time. I think I said it earlier outside on the stage, but we know women's football we rely on one another, but all the fans to grow the game. We're still in a growth phase, but we're so appreciative of all the fans coming. We're very grateful, but we're here to push boundaries. So if we can get more and more fans with each game, but we need to win for the fans to come back. So we need to put a massive fight, a massive performance in, and make sure we put on a good show for the spectators to come back.
We spoke in the week with Ricardo Pereira, didn't we? Here pitch side at King Power Stadium. We were all looking over onto the pitch thinking, what an unbelievable surface. And again, watching today, you must be just excited to just get out there and play.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to sit in the stands. When the men were playing earlier, we're sitting there and we just can't wait for tomorrow. It's almost like, can we just fast forward? And as you said, the surface is unbelievable. Again, that's something we're so grateful for. Not only that we're allowed to call King Power our home, that we are allowed to call Beaver Drive our home. We don't take that for granted, and I don't think that's the case anywhere else, really. So we do feel really part of the club, and we do feel that we're heard and we're seen. And that is massive for us. Yeah,
you're in the same changing room that Matty Fright was in just under 20 years ago, which is a frightening thought. Tomorrow it's a 3 o'clock kickoff against Everton. Tickets are still available. Come down and support LCFC women in their first home game of the season. Big thank you to Jerry Taggart, who was on co-commentary for us today, to Matty Fright, to Matt Elliott, and to Sophie Howard for coming on and joining us after seeing win number 1 of the weekend here at King Power Stadium. Hopefully Leicester fans can see win number 2 when the women play tomorrow. But from that men's point of view, 11 games played at the start of this championship season, 10 games won, they're 10 points clear of third. It has been a fantastic start under Enzo Maresca. Goodbye.